All right, so we're here with our hedgerow, which we've done a video on before, and we wanted to show our progress with it. We're outside, so hopefully our sound is going to be okay. We're not moving this time like we were last time. So the hedgerow is basically to grow trees and block the road from the rest of the property for purposes of pollution and or noise and things like that. And we want to do projects here in this field in the future. We want to build the hedgerow to go all the way down to the other end of the field. So this was put in around the very end of the year, December 31st and the 1st of January, that last week of December and first week of January. I think it was the very last week of December. So, and you'll be able to see, they took the ground and ran a machine across it to pull up the grass and turn it over. And we're thinking now that might not have been the best way to do it because it stirs up a lot of weed seeds and things, and we got a ton of weeds that are way taller than some of our trees in certain areas, which can actually kill them. So I've spoken with the person who put this in and a couple other people, and basically they say we need to chop and drop. So the problem is we've had tons of rain, and I went out of town for 10 days and did my hike with my daughter and came back, and we had just walked it and everything looked great. And when I came back, it was like incredible. The grass in some spots is so high it might kill my trees. So fortunately this week I have 3 mornings off. Hopefully I got to pick blueberries and work on this, and so I was trying to hire somebody and haven't been able to. So we're going to show you some videos about how this looks because we want you to understand the problems you can have when you do this. And when we continue our hedgerow, I'm going to make sure that we do not dig in the soil again. So there's ways to put the trees in. Because we're going to do it in the fall, what we may do is put some mulch down where we're going to do the trees to help soften the dirt. And when you soften everything, it's easy to dig in. This was super hard when we tried to dig in it in the winter, and so that makes it really difficult to put this many trees in a big hurry. So we do need to make a plan that hopefully will work better than have all these weeds, because this is a lot of weeding, and you can't pull them up or you will turn weed seeds some more and it'll just still be a problem and come back. So it was recommended by the person who put these in that I call the tree companies and see if I can get some free chips that they can dump here so we can, put lots more mulch. I do have some bark mulch, but they prefer for me to have tree mulch, actual trees that have been chipped up, because I think it's more nutritious if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to work on that this week, and then we're going to try to chop and drop. So we're going to show you some video of all these trees to show you. We also had some very, very cold weather. So we might have lost a few trees, but we're not sure. It's hard to see. But I think we've kept most of them. But some of them got, the very earliest branches got freezer burned, or burned, and they turned black. All of our figs did, but every one of them has a new fig coming out of the bottom. So that was great to see. And several of our plants may be like that. So, and all the woody plants are the trees that we planted, and then all this is grass and weeds. So some of this is actually wheat and vetch and rye that we planted years ago that keeps coming back. But this area is not so bad, but we're going to walk down a few feet from here and I can't even see the trees. So we're going to have to work on that this week and see if we still have some that are alive. So you see there's a good bit of weeds in here. I have to figure out what tool to use. I thought about weed eating, but you have to be super careful not to nick your trees with the weed eater. So some of it we may be able to weed eat around the edges. We were trying to mark every single tree so we'll know where a tree is with a pink ribbon, so we don't hit them, so we don't hurt them. So Tim came through and marked several. Yep, and we marked our figs earlier. That one is a tree. The pink ribbon looks like it came off, so we'll have to put that back on. But we've definitely tried to mark as many trees as possible. So this is the area, literally, we've only taken a few steps, and this is like a jungle right here. So this is very difficult for a tree to grow in. So this is an area we're just really, I'm going to work on. This is about, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet right here that we really have to work on. And then there's another area, and it might be because it's a low spot and the water is really watering these, you know, this area so well because water comes off the mountain. So anyway, so this is the area I'm going to work on first.
Stand in front of it so we can see how tall they are.
Yes, I am 5'2". So you can see how tall that is. And if we turn around and look at the field's only 2 or 3 feet high. So we know this shouldn't be this tall. And when I asked originally what kind of work was going to be needed to make sure all this grew, I was told nothing, it should do fine with the mulch. Well, obviously this is not fine. So we're going to have to try to get as much of this down, and we could have already lost the trees. I don't know. It happened, so it's been 3 weeks or so. So here we are. We do have to fix this. And so we did want you to have an update about the hedgerow. We had a lot of folks who are very interested in our hedgerow. So we're going to do a series so you guys can watch and see how it works and how our trees grow. So if we point the camera that way, you can see we have some very tall trees that are going past the weeds, which is great. But then there's a lot that are small that don't. So water has not been our problem. We did put a water line in and never have used it yet. I think Tim used it once or twice, maybe in January or February when it was kind of dry, because we did have a dry spell. But now we got to get all these weeds out. So this is our plan this week, and we will probably try to do videos after I've weeded as much as possible and show you if I can find trees in it. I see a pink ribbon, so I know there's a little bit in there. I see another pink ribbon, but there should be a good number more trees in there than I can see at the moment.